Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Office Bloke Daz.
I'm Office Bloke Mike.
Here we are, two of us today.
Indeed.
If Patreon's your thing, check out the link in the description below. Loads of stuff on there. Starts for a bargain price. So just
£1.50 a month.
check it out. You won't be disappointed.
Yeah, go on.
USA. I'm planning going to the USA in October.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah, I'm going to go. It looks like I'm going to do the. It was supposed to be September. We pushed it back a little bit. So I'm going to do the fall foliage.
Right.
Probably in the northeast, Vermont.
Right.
Definitely like the New England area.
New England type of area. Oh, yeah, but it's amazing, that.
And then I'm going to head to Nashville. Or Nashville first and Vermont second.
Did you go there last year, Nashville?
A couple of years ago.
A couple of years ago, was it now? Right,
Yeah,
that's
it's just
right.
a great town. It's just,
Yeah, I remember you saying you absolutely loved it when you were there, so...
Yeah. So I think it deserves another trip so I can get a little bit more time there and spend around.
Superb.
See what's going on there. This is Las Vegas. I've never been to Las Vegas. I've never fancied it.
I'm the same, and I've always found it... I don't know, it's probably just not my cup of tea, but personally, I'm not a big gambler or anything like that.
Yeah.
I mean, fruit machine, I suppose, but I'm not like a massive gambler or anything like that. So I know it's not just that, but I think a lot of it seems to be, that's what it comes across like with me anyway. I don't know.
Everyone I know that's been have always all said it's great.
I think to look at and everything with all the lights and everything they've got going on, got all the shows there, I can see, the good parts of it.
You see the attraction, can't
Yeah,
you?
yeah.
It's just one of them places where it just seems a bit hype for me, and I'm not really into that. It's for me, I'd rather go to a nice, like, bustling city that's like, it's got a little bit of story behind it. Vegas just seems a bit like Dubai, sort of like a bit like forced.
A bit more of a contrived type of area, sort of thing, where it's just like all bright lights and a bit like a Blackpool type thing of the US.
Yeah, it's just a lot of hype. I'd love to see like the Sphere. Obviously, got some new stadiums there.
Of course,
stuff like new teams that have come in and all that sort of thing. So for the sporting side of it, I know the Formula One's there now as well.
Of course.
There's a lot of things for sporting reasons I would go there, but I've recently heard like loads of stories about the pricing of it. It's gone like ridiculous.
Really?
So like, to get food and drink there, and for the expense that everyone's going through at the moment, like the world's going through I wouldn't say a crisis, but the world's going through like a little bit of a
economically, it's a bit tough, isn't it, at the moment? And I suppose a lot of places are going to suffer, especially tourism. That's one of the first things it tends to sort of like suffer, isn't it, really?
Yeah, but I've heard people saying tourism's down in the UK, tourism's down here, tourism's down there. Whatever. For me, I just think, where do I want to go? And I'm like, that's where I'm going.
Yeah.
I
won't go somewhere because tourism was down there. I'll just pick somewhere where I want to go, and that's it.
But if someone said if you go there now, it's gone crazy expensive, I'd probably stay away from it. I probably would.
Right, okay.
Someone come back and said, I've just been there, and it's like X amount for this and X amount for that. I'd be like, yeah, I'll stay away.
Yeah.
It's not really for me then. Not being a tight house or anything, just that these other places to choose from.
Get that. Yeah,
so this is Las Vegas. Las Vegas is a warning for America. Let's get into it and see what it's about.
Take a look at this headline from the New York Post. Las Vegas tourism is sinking, and younger Americans could be to blame.
Oh, yeah?
This is really interesting, and I want to explain why. But I also want to show you this poll from News 3 Las Vegas, where viewers said overwhelmingly that Las Vegas is just too expensive to visit now. So what's actually happening? Well, Las Vegas is seeing some pretty steep declines. Tourism is down more than 11% year over year. Hotel occupancy is declining as well. And as a result, the local economy, which depends almost entirely on visitors spending money, is really starting to feel it.
Vegas's hospitality workers aren't making as much money as they anticipated because there are fewer tourists.
A lot of tip workers are saying that their earnings are down by as much as half this year.
But instead of asking why people aren't coming, or whether the city has simply priced them out, headlines like this go straight to blaming younger people. Not the billion-dollar companies that run the Vegas Strip who saw record revenues over the past few years, not the fact that young people can't afford homes, rent, healthcare, and are lucky to even get a job once they're out of college. No, they don't do any of that because it's easier to shame them for not spending enough money than it is to ask why they don't have money in the first place. And this isn't about any one article in particular. This kind of blame the consumer narrative shows up
the blame the consumer narrative as well. I see it over here with. I like the way he's putting that across there because the young kids do get blamed for a lot.
Yeah.
Especially over here when pubs are closing. But pubs are closing over here at alarming rates. It's like I don't know the numbers, but if anyone wants to look it up, it's they are closing at alarming rates in the UK. And when I speak to publicans or go in a local pub and all that, I mean, the local pub I go in, it's kind of like the one that's going around here. You've been in as well, right?
Yeah.
It's always busy, but of recent times, it's not been as busy. And when you go in, there's not a younger generation in there.
I get that.
I don't blame them. the younger generation don't do that. There's nothing appealing for them to go to it.
Yeah, it's different. So it's different sort of environment, isn't it? But I won't blame them at all. I mean,
no, you can't.
You can't just blame a certain age group, because if they're not going there, it's for a reason. It's not because they don't want to spend the money. It's probably because they haven't got it.
Is it appealing enough for a young generation to go to Las Vegas? Have people had enough? It's It's like nightclubs in the UK. There's no nightclubs now because younger generation don't do nightclubs. They
just don't do it as much, do they? No, they're definitely more into like the live music, and a lot of other pubs just have music on anyway. But not necessarily like a disco, but they have like just a normal pub, but with a singer or something like that, and it seems to appeal to people more, doesn't it?
Yeah. But they do get the brunt end of it.
In fact, the LA Times blamed Vegas's recent decline on California residents going less. But what matters more here is why people are pulling back and how the rising costs are clearly changing behavior. First, it's important to establish the economic impact of tourism in Las Vegas. In 2024 alone, visitors spent over $55 billion there. But when you factor in the ripple effects from that, like the money spent by the businesses that serve those tourists and the wages paid to the workers who then spend their paychecks locally, the total economic impact balloons to nearly $88 billion. In June of this year, Vegas saw just 3.1 million visitors, a drop of 11.3% compared to June from the prior year. Through the first half of 2025, total visitors fell by 7.3% to 19.5 million. And this was down from approximately 21 million in the first half of 2024. And every month so far in 2025, Vegas has seen year-over-year decreases for overall visitation. As a result of fewer travelers, hotel occupancy rates have also declined. Roughly 78% in June, which is down over 6% from the prior year. Average room rates have dropped as a result by 6.6%. And so far in 2025, occupancy on the Vegas Strip has posted declines in every month except January. Now, these declines are much worse when you start to look at international travel to Las Vegas, which we'll talk about more in a moment. But here's what's surprising. Vegas continues to profit even as visitors drop. Clark County, where Las Vegas is located, collected $1.16 billion in gambling revenue during June of this year. And this was up 3.5% from last year. Now, the state as a whole took in over $1.3 billion of gross gaming revenue during the month of June, which was also up 3.5%. So how is traffic down but revenue up? Well, there are two potential reasons for this. First, the big casino operators are simply charging more per customer. But second, and probably more importantly, people are starting to shift away from the Vegas Strip altogether and choosing the surrounding areas instead. This seems to be happening because these casinos are offering cheaper prices than what the Strip is.
The Red Rock Casino's earnings call touting over $500 million in net revenue. They say that's a big deal, comparing it to last year showing a nearly 10% growth. This while the earnings call at Caesars showed a dip in year-over-year revenue in Las Vegas, seeing a 3.7% decline for Strip properties.
Now, I mentioned that international travel was plummeting, and here's just how bad it's gotten for Vegas. Canada and Mexico are both the city's top international visitors. Traffic for Air Canada was down 13% month over month in June, but was down a whopping 33% year over year, and Aeromexico traffic was down 22% year over year. Why is that, you might be wondering? Well, affordability plays a role, of course, but that doesn't explain these kinds of staggering drops. This is far more likely due to how the current administration is handling relationships with some of its closest allies, and how they're treating immigrants in their own country. This is all further backed up by the overall decline in tourism to the US since Trump took office.
You might not have noticed it yet, but tourism to the U.S. is on the decline. The U.S. is set to lose $12.5 billion because of it. Traveler spending here is already down 22.5%.
I was just going to ask that. Does it say, when he was showing the year-on-year declines for Las Vegas, I wanted to see what the national average was. Was it declining nationwide? Or is it just like a Las Vegas? Is it just like an LA, a New York, whatever it may be, major city, sort of like a issue where people are choosing different things? Be interesting to see, get like a look on as well from domestic travel. You know, so how much domestic travel? He said there before, California's not going to Las Vegas, but how much domestic travel has it increased from say New York to Denver, or wherever? Are people sort of like taking the tourism elsewhere. I mean, I get the Canada sort of side. I know there was a little bit of a fallout on, 51st state.
Yeah, that's right. So you can see why maybe some people think, right, well,
you do.
I'm not going there then.
You get patriots, don't you? That's all I say. I'm not going there because he said this about
us.
Because
of X, Y, Z, and
yeah. And it's for me. I'm just like, if you can criticise our government and you're an overseas government, I'm definitely coming to visit you.
Yeah, but I mean, the US losing like 22.5%, 12.5 billion. I mean, that's a lot. That, and that's
cause for concern.
I'm guessing that's across the board.
Yeah,
I'm guessing maybe one of the reasons why they sort of like focus on Las Vegas is because it is pretty much pure tourism, isn't it? Where New York's probably a mix of quite a lot of things with business as well and things like that.
Yeah,
so
there'll be a lot of people who live outside of the New York area. When I say New York area, New York City, Manhattan area, that go into Manhattan, so they're spending
to working and stuff like that. So I suppose it's a bit more hard to sort of like nail down how much of it's tourism. There'll still be loads of tourism in New York, and I'm guessing that's not been affected as much. But
when you go to like Vegas as well, it seems to be like trade shows. Like I say, I've not been to Vegas, so I don't know, but I've seen advertisements for trade shows. This trade show's coming up and it's going to be in Las Vegas. This trade show's in Las Vegas. And they do a lot of, I guess the volume of hotels they've got there can accommodate people coming from a global.
Oh, yeah, guess
something
like that.
Again, a lot of trade shows are down because now you've got all these, since COVID, you've got all these Teams meetings.
Yeah.
So like it's travel sort of like magic decline because of that.
That many people doing it online now,
they
aren't
did it so long, they just carried on doing it.
And it'd be infinitely cheaper, wouldn't it?
But you see our business, what we do, face-to-face meetings are few and far between now. It's all on Teams.
Yeah.
That's from last year, and it may only get worse.
So with all of this aside for a moment, remember that poll at the beginning of the video? 94% saying it's gotten too expensive to go to Vegas? Well, what does that really look like? Well, it's airport level food and beverage prices, it's hefty parking fees, hotel fees, ATM fees, fees on top of those fees or more fees. It's a money suck, plain and simple. And that's before people go there and lose a bunch of money from gambling it away. So of course people can't afford to take a vacation in 120-degree weather and blow money that they don't have. But I don't want this analysis to be misunderstood. I'm not saying fewer people going to Vegas or gambling less is a bad thing. Some would argue it's a good thing, and honestly, when it comes to gambling less, I agree. There's also a ripple effect of economic consequences that gets spread not just through the local Vegas community, but also through the state of Nevada as a whole. But that's not what this is about. This is about what happens when an entire city is built on a business model that relies on constant spending, and that model starts to break down. Las Vegas isn't the cause of America's affordability crisis. It's a symptom of it. A place built to attract the world is now losing visitors, not just because of rising prices, but also because the rest of the world is really rethinking how it views visiting the US. Some people have said that the decline in Vegas has more to do with the fact that gambling today is just far more accessible than it previously used to be. And there's definitely some validity to that, which is scary. People can gamble right on their smartphones from their couch today with things like sports betting, something that couldn't really be done the same way 10 years ago. But that also doesn't tell the whole story, of course. So what does Las Vegas become when the illusion they sell stops working? While the city was always about gambling and flashy shows, it was also about selling people on the feeling that they could step outside their reality for a weekend and live large, even if they actually weren't. The cost of that experience has clearly exceeded what Vegas currently offers. And when that illusion starts to fall apart, the instinct is always to blame the consumer. People aren't spending enough. Young people aren't gambling. International visitors just aren't coming like they used to. The reality is, it's the cost of it all. And this was not done by accident. Because behind the scenes, the companies running the Vegas Strip have spent the last decade optimizing everything. Not for joy or experience, but for profit. They've raised prices, gutted perks, cut labor where they could, and turned what used to be a destination into a machine designed to extract as much money as possible from every single person who comes into the city limits. It's not that people suddenly hate Vegas, it's that the version people loved doesn't really exist anymore. And the people responsible for that shift are the ones at the top, making decisions that prioritize quarterly earnings over everything else. It's just one more example of greed being pushed too far, and it might be a canary in the coal mine for the broader US economy as a whole. If you enjoyed this video and you want to learn more about why state governments love to tax hope, Well, I covered it here in one of my most recent videos about the lottery.
I don't want to get involved in tax conversations with what we're going through over here.
We
get taxed on money that we've already paid tax on. To pay more money on tax that we've been paid on before. We pay tax on our tax.
I know, it's absolutely unbelievable, and incredible. It's an interesting thing you said before, like the whole business model of Las Vegas is built around basically people going there and just spending loads of money. I know a lot of holiday destinations, people want tourists to spend money and this, that and the other, but just when people say Las Vegas to me, it just says to me it's just gambling. And it just doesn't, to me, it doesn't appeal to me as a holiday.
Yeah, it's not just gambling, though, is it? But what it is, it's trying to.
That's what it comes across as to me, though. It's like Vegas. I think gambling. I think I'm just not interested.
Because the hotels are mainly run by casino sort of like styles operations. But when you look at it, you've got a lot of concerts go there.
Yeah,
you've got Formula One. You've got the Sphere. You've got like loads and loads of stuff that go on.
Yeah.
You got basket. You got baseball, football teams there now. You've got everything that's sort of like sports wise. It's ramped up a little bit.
Yeah.
But what you've got as well with talking about like trying to squeeze the customer, everyone does it. Everything, wherever you go, everyone's trying to upsell, right? And
big time. Yeah, I get that.
To the point where it gets to a point where you say, I can't really afford that, so I'll stick with what I've got. I'll stick with what I've got, plan A, and I don't need B, C, and D, or whatever. So you just carry on with what you've got with A. But I think with that, it's probably a bit of a trap with Vegas. Because you go in, you might go with your spouse who doesn't like gambling, so you split off sort of thing. One night you do the gambling side, next night you do a concert, next night you do a sporting event, next night there's loads of stuff to do, sort of thing.
All I'm saying is with Vegas, if there's no sport on and Formula One's that's only there once a year anyway.
Yeah.
If you're not gambling, then what are you doing? Like where you go to to other places like in Europe, go to Portugal or Spain or something. You go to like a resort. There's probably a lot more to do if you don't want to just gamble. So you know what I mean? Days trips out and stuff like that, and beaches and things like that.
Yeah,
I know they've got things at Las Vegas. I absolutely get that 100%. But I think psychologically, for me, I just think, well, it's just all about gambling, or a lot of it is. And if I don't want to gamble every day, then, what else do you do?
And it is an expensive trip, but at the same time, when I look at going away on like for travel for a vacation, I look at it and I always compare. I never sort of like go, right, I'm going there and that's it. Then I start doing is branching out, then going, I wonder if it costs $4,000 to go to say New York. I wonder how much it's going to cost us as a family to go to Brazil.
Yeah.
So then I'll look at Sao Paulo or Rio and think, how much is it going to cost me there? And I look at it and they compare. What about if I go to what about I go safari to Kenya? Something like that. Then I'll look at that. And then I'll look at, what if I stay in the UK and go to Scotland?
Yeah.
It's fucking more expensive to go to Scotland, right? Or Centre Parks.
Probably,
right?
yeah.
Than to go to New York for a week. And I'm like, how does that work?
All I'm saying is, when I went to Spain this year, I could pretty much budget how much we were going to spend all the time.
Yeah.
But all I'm saying is, I think one of the things about Vegas, and be sort of devil's advocate to a certain extent, because I've never been there, so all I'm saying is, there you can't really budget, because it might cost you $100 a day, but if you have a bad day on the tables, it might be like 2 or 3 times that.
But if you have a good day on the tables, you come back and buy a house.
Oh yeah, there's the upside. You can have a great day at the table, and you could be like going back, clicking your heels in the air.
The downside is many people that have good days at the tables tend to go back the next day and have a bad day, and then it's all gone again.
Well, mostly do.
Gambling.
The casinos are there for a reason, aren't they? And basically they end up winning, don't they?
I think you hit the nail on the head with gambling as well. You can do it from your phone, and that's what I do. I gamble on sport, and it's I'm straight phones up, bam.
Yeah, if you like a gamble, like a decent, a little flutter and stuff like that, it's a really, really good point, that, because that's so. It's just everything's on phones these days, and you look at all the people that are sponsoring UK football teams.
Yeah.
Not all of them, but pretty much most of them like gambling companies, aren't they?
And
it's incredible.
All the ones you see in America as well, like MGM, for example, they're getting big over here now with their gambling. With Chris Rock. I think it's Chris Rock that does the advert for it over here.
Yeah,
commercial.
Of course he does. Yeah, you're right.
But it's interesting. It's interesting to say, because I'm one of them. I don't give a shit what anyone says. If Trump says something in the TV and it's against our government, I'm all for it. I'm like, say more.
Yeah.
Get right in the face, mate. Go on, tell him we'll be 51st state. Go on, give him that.
Yeah.
See what shitheads he's going to come up with.
It'd be interesting to see what people in the States think about it, about Vegas and why it's declined so much. But
if you're over that way and it is like in a bit of a decline, I don't think it's nosediving, but it's cause for concern. 22% down nationwide.
That's a lot, isn't it? I mean, not everywhere can keep going up and up and up. infinitely. You know, so a lot of the time, especially with things going on in the world, you do get dips all around the world in certain, especially vacations and stuff, because that's one of the first things that suffer. You know, it's like a luxury, isn't it? So
it's expensive as well nowadays to do anything. So even if you go to like a restaurant, or if you want beers or just drinks and stuff like, it's not, gone are the days where you still get it in Europe, like Spain and Portugal and places like that.
Certain places
where you
can
go and you still get Euro beers.
Yeah, especially Eastern Europe and like maybe Bulgaria, places like that, you can still get them pretty cheap. But
mind you, I went to Latvia and that was £8 a pint.
Ooh,
I'm like, wow, and that's how we gauge it in Britain. We gauge tourism on how much a pint of beer costs. That's what we do.
What's a pint cost?
How much does a pint cost? Yeah, and if someone says it's €2 a pint, everyone will be like,
it's cheap.
Don't give a shit what it looks like when you're there. But I'm in for €2.
That's where we're going.
If it's €8 a pint, be like, nah. Let's see what else there is. Yeah,
typical
British.
Yeah.
Anyway, hope you guys let us know what you think in the comments. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you in the next one. Cheers.